Hello everyone. So this is our third lecture in the series of network graph theory. In this lecture we will see incidence matrix. As already we discussed, the graph theory is one of the method to find the voltage and current in a network, or in other way we can say it is the method to analyze our network. So with this we'll also go with our next point, that incidence matrix. So in incidence matrix we may find a complete incidence matrix and a reduced incidence matrix. So what are that? Look at here. So first we are going with complete incidence matrix, and it is denoted by A suffix A. So when we say a matrix, so it is nothing but simply number of rows to number of columns. Here the rows are nothing but the number of nodes. Whatever the nodes are available in your graph, so all these nodes will be taken as rows. And what are the branches are available in your graph, that will be taken as column. If we say our graph is having 4 nodes and 6 branches, so your matrices will have 4 by 6 size, or your matrix will have the 4 by 6 size. Now the elements in the matrices, what the values we have to take it. So just do the note, if the branches are incoming for nodes, so then that times we have to take it that branch associated with particular node with have a value is -1. If the branch is outgoing from the node, so respective branch associated with particular node, and if this branch is outgoing, you have to take it -1. And if the branches which are not connected, which are not associated with that particular node, so definitely that value will be 0. Okay. Let take a look for it, how we can form complete incidence matrix. So consider we are having this complete graph having 4 node, node 1, node 2, node 3 and node 4, and the number of branches are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and we need a directed graph, because if we are having a directed graph, then and then only we can find the branches whether it is incoming or outgoing from the node, else we can't find it. So what the size of this matrix for a complete incidence matrix is, that is number of nodes are 4 and number of branches are 6, so size becomes 4 by 6. Incidence matrix, complete incidence matrix is denoted by A suffix A equals to what, that it is between number of branches. How many branches we are having? That 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and the number of nodes that are becomes rows, so number of nodes are 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we can go one by one. What the branch 1 or branch 1, so branch 1 is incoming for node 2, so that should be -1. Okay, and it is outgoing for node 1, so that should be of your +1, and remainings that branch 1 is not concerned with node 3 and node 4, so that's why it is 0. Look at here. So branch 1 is outgoing for node 1, so that's why it is +1. It is incoming for node 2, so that is it is -1. Branch 1 is not concerned with, is not associated with node 3 and node 4, that's why that values are 0. Okay, look at here, branch 2. So branch 2 is incoming for node 3, so that's why it is -1. Outgoing for node 2, so that's why it is a +1, and it is not related with your node 1 and node 4, so that's why it is 0. Branch 3, branch 3 is outgoing for node 2, so that is +1, and incoming for node 4, so that's why it is minus. Remainings are 0, 0. Branch 4, outgoing for node 4, so +1, incoming for node 1, -1. For node 2 and node 3 is not related, so 0, 0. Branch 5, is outgoing for node 1, so +1, incoming for node 3, so -1, and remains are 0, 0. And last one, the branch 6. So branch 6 is outgoing for node 3 +1 and incoming for node 4, so that is -1. So this is simply a complete incidence matrix. From this matrix, we may find a properties. So first of all, the size of this matrices are the number of nodes to number of branches, and a very important property is that if we are looking for a column addition of all the elements in these columns, so you will find that at last you will get that sum is 0. So for branch 1 column, you will find 1 minus 1 plus 0 plus 0, so total becomes 0. For column 2, 1 minus 1, 0. For column 3, 0. Column 4, 0. Column 5, 0. Column 6 is also 0. So how we can identify whether the given matrix is complete incidence matrix or reduced incidence matrix? A very simple way is just find here the addition of all the column elements for all columns 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. If you are getting that all the column additions or all the elements of all the elements additions in respective columns are 0, so you may find that it is as complete incidence matrix. If one of the column is not having that 0 summation, so you can say that this is reduced incidence matrix. So this is the basic difference between complete incidence matrix and reduced incidence matrix. So the properties here you may find the properties of incidence matrix. The algebraic sum of column entries are 0. And the determinant of incidence matrix is determinant of incidence matrix of a closed loop. The determinant of incidence matrix of a closed loop for any closed loop, that will be 0. Second, reduced incidence matrix, and which is generated by A. So again it is nothing but the rows versus columns. That size is rows versus column. Rows are, look at here, rows are number of node minus 1. That means in complete incidence matrix, if you say that we are having that 4 number of nodes, so there are 4 number of rows. But in reduced incidence matrix, we may have 1 less. So that means if we are having a 4 number of nodes, so number of rows are 3. So always 1 row less than complete incidence matrix. This is the basic difference. And what are that number of columns? Number of columns are same, number of branches. Throughout your all matrices, the number of branches, that means columns are same, that will be number of branches. So how we can form that reduced incidence matrix? When one row deleted from any one of row, you can take as a reference. When one row deleted from complete incidence matrix, the remaining matrix is called reduced incidence matrix. Look at here. If you are having, this is a complete graph. From that graph already we find this complete incidence matrix, and if we want to make it reduced incidence matrix, and I want to delete here that 4th row. Okay, so what are that remaining matrix is known as reduced incidence matrix, and it is generated by A. So what are that remaining matrix is having? Number of rows are 1, 2, 3, number of columns are same, so you may find that number of branches are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, number of nodes are 1, 2, 3 only, so you are getting it. And you may find, you can check here, you can cross check what the column addition, what the algebraic sum of elements present in that column. So 1 minus 1, that is 0, fine. First is 0, second column addition is 0, third column addition is 1, it is non-zero. Fourth column addition is -1, it is non-zero. Fifth column addition 0, sixth column is 1. So you may find that out of this 6 column, 3 columns are having that non-zero summation values for their column additions. So that's why we can say it is reduced incidence matrix. So properties of reduced incidence matrix: the algebraic sum of some columns entries are non-zero. Some column entries, it is not for all, but some column entries are non-zero. So this is reduced incidence matrix. I hope so it's all clear that complete incidence matrix and reduced incidence matrix. Can we go for a reverse back? if reduced incidence matrix is given, so from that reduced incidence matrix, can we make it complete incidence matrix? Yes. If the problem is that draw the graph from reduced incidence matrix. If reduced incidence matrix is there, and from that reduced incidence matrix, can you draw the graph? Yes. So we can go by a reverse way. That means from reduced incidence matrix, you have to make it complete incidence matrix, and with respect to that complete incidence matrix entries, we can draw their graph. So if this reduced incidence matrix is given, okay, with these entries, first of all we have to check it whether it is reduced incidence matrix or not. So check their column entries. So what the column entries here? 1 minus 1, so that is 0, fine. For second column, 1 minus 1, 0, fine. Third column, what that algebraic sum of all the column entries is? 1. It's not a 0, it is non-zero. For fourth column, it is 0. For fifth column, it is 1, and for sixth column, it is 0. That means here we miss one of the rows, and hence it is of your reduced incidence matrix. So from this reduced incidence matrix, can you make complete incidence matrix? Yes. If we add a row with these values 0 0 1 0 1 0, it will form a complete incidence matrix in which we may find the number of rows are 1 2 3 4 and added 1/5. So the size becomes 5 by 6. Look at here, graph from reduced incidence matrix. This is our reduced incidence matrix. So what here? Step 1, add a row in reduced incidence matrix to make complete incidence matrix. So we just add here. So that is algebraic summation of all column entries becomes 0. So we add here that one of the row. So what here? Reduced incidence matrix becomes complete incidence matrix. So the algebraic sum of column entries should be 0. 1 minus 1, 0. 1 minus 1, 0. 1, it is 1. And here we add minus 1, so it becomes 0. Minus 1, 1, 0. 1, here we add minus 1, so it becomes 0. Getting? And 6 here, for column 6, it is 1 minus 1, so it is 0. So we add here the fifth row with entries 0 0 minus 1 0 minus 1 0, so it becomes a complete incidence matrix. And once we are getting complete incidence matrix, so from that complete incidence matrix we can easily draw the graph. How it becomes? Draw the oriented graph as per column entries. First of all, locate here that your nodes. What are the nodes are here? 5 nodes. 1 2 3 4 5, whatever the locations or whatever that positions of the nodes, you can take as it is. There is no issue, you can take it arbitrary any position, 1 2 3 4 5. Okay, look at here, going one by one entries of column or the branches. So branch 1 is connected between what node? Look at here, branch 1 is connected between node 1 and node 2. So branch 1 is connected between node 1 and node 2, and we know that for incoming, if the branch is incoming for a node, it will be taken as -1. For outgoing, it is taken as +1. So definitely branch 1 is outgoing from node 1 and incoming towards node 2. Clear? So that is, it is branch 1 is outgoing from node 1 and incoming for node 2. Then branch 2, for branch 2, let's check the column entries for branch 2. So it is between node 2 and node 3, incoming for node 3, outgoing for node 2. Then look at branch 3 column entry 0 1 0 0. So it is present between node 2 and node 5. Node 2 and node 5, incoming for node 5 -1 and outgoing for node 2. So incoming for node 5 and outgoing for node 2. Look at here, branch 4 column entry. It is present between node 1 and node 4. Node 1 and node 4. It is incoming for node 1, outgoing for node 4. So it is coming from 4 to 1. So 4 to 1. Let's do that branch 5. So it is present between node 1 and node 5. Node 1 and node 5, incoming for node 5, outgoing for node 1. So 1 to 5. And what about the last branch? Branch 6. That is present between node 3 and node 4. So node 3 and node 4, incoming for node 4, outgoing for node 3. So it is 3 to 4. So this is 3 to 4. You may find here the number of nodes are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and number of branches are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it is a graph that comes from reduced incidence matrix. So reduced incidence matrix to complete incidence matrix, and from complete incidence matrix we can easily draw the graph. So thank you. Do watching.